Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today another old classic kit. So this was originally the MPC kit, I do believe, from around about 1981-82, and then Airfix boxed it in 1982. If this kit has been back on the market since then, I'm not too sure. Looking at some of the history over on ScaleMates, obviously it was AMT Ertl had it in 1992, and MPC reboxed this, new box art and all the rest of it, and re-released it in 2015. So it has been seen around again, but I can't see anything about Airfix doing anything with it. So I'm not sure if it was a one-hit wonder or it's been around. Don't even know how long it was in their catalogue. I can find very, very little information actually about this kit. But there we go. What a big old kit. And obviously, as we are getting near the old festive season and Santa will be along us soon, I wonder how many of us got this for Christmas at one point in the 80s, because again, it's a monster kit. It's a huge box. I've had to stretch the camera to maximum to get it all in, and so yeah, definitely very, very nice. Something a little bit different as well, something we definitely don't see now. So what scale was this? Can't even remember what scale this was now. Hold on, that's why I was actually on ScaleMates to find it. It's 1/25th scale. So this is the General, which is a 4-40 American standard wood burning steam locomotive. So you get a little bit of track with it, so basically a little direct, and then obviously you get the tender with the engine itself. But saw this one, we spoke about it, and again, I have to thank one of our members, Flooring Models members, who reached out to me and said, do you want it? Because I've got one, I'm not going to do anything with it. Absolutely. And again, if you're one of those ones who actually really do fancy building, and as everyone will know, my new wife is a massive steam train fan. So she'll be happy if I did. But anyway, something a little bit special about this one. Very much childhood and stuff like that. Even the box art reminds me of that sort of classic 80s look for everything. But anyway, let's have a look and see what we've got. So again, this is going to be really big for putting on camera, but we'll try our best. So as you can see, there's a little bit about it. So we've got a couple of images of the real thing on the front there. I think this is something to do with the 80s, when everyone was really worried about there was, I don't know if it actually became law or whatever happened to it, but there was some ruling that said that the contents of a product had to be displayed well. You know, so i.e. if you put something down and it's supposed to look like this and it didn't, you get into trouble. And the way Airfix got around this was to actually put the models on the top of their instructions, which was horrible. Not very exciting for us modelers to want to actually go out and buy one, compared with modern box art of something shooting something else down. But anyway, this is from that era as well. So I imagine in the 80s, they were all sort of done with this, so it showed it. So as you can see, there's a couple of bits on the box. There is some rattles and bangs in here, but it's actually solidly complete. Kit number for this one, I'm going to have to find you that. In fact, is it on here? It's actually been, unfortunately the tape has buried it, but I can give you, can I give you the kit number for it? Hold on, let me just see if I can get the kit number for you. Kit number for this one is 1-2001. So there we go. Anyway, there it is. So, undoing the box, can you imagine being a kid at Christmas and getting this? It'd be mega. All right, so we have, if that's going to sit up, let's lean it back a little bit. There we go. So we've got instructions, which obviously we'll have a look at first in a moment. We've got, let's try and do some order, the track. So not quite Lincoln length tracks, but it gives you an idea of how big this thing is when it's all together. It's going to be 60 odd centimetres once this thing is all together and done. All right, so we've got those. We've got different, it's all in different colours down in here. So we have got, oh, it has been opened. I didn't think this kit had actually been opened. It has been opened. So we've got the tender, and obviously this is the firewood on the back there. Some of the parts, so they're done in grey. Then we've got, which way should we do this? Let's do the black. So we've got the main engine itself in black, done very nicely indeed. Then we've got the red, which is a bit in the red, to be honest, but that's what they're going. So we've got the old ball bar down the front, or cow guard, I don't know what they quite call it in reality. All right, there we go, very nice. So this kit is now what, 41 years old? So the decals don't look too bad, which, yeah, considering of, not being funny, if we all remember Airfix's decals in the day were awful, so we're assuming these are MPCs and not those. We have the regular, what's wrong with it? No comment. All right, I think that's the, I've got some very small parts in here. We don't want to lose these little parts. So what I'll do is I'll pop them off to one side and I'll get them in a minute, because we've got various bits that have come awry here, and I'll get these reboxed afterwards and everything. All right, so we've got some nice metalled done in the old chrome, gold chrome, and we've got some more black bits, as you can see, just down in there, and we've got another bit just as a loose one. I'm amazed the box has held up as long as it did, really. So, right, what we do, we get the camera down to more of a sensible position. So, down in here, so obviously we've got birth about it, all about the 1800s with American, down in the Wild West and all the rest of it. We're doing them, and obviously talking about this particular version of it with the wood burning locomotives and a little bit of back history about it. So something a little bit nice down in there. And then we are straight into it. So we've got the sleepers being put down, and then we've got the rails going on the top. We've even got some joiners on there as well. We've got, it looks like a nameplate, which I did see on the front, which has got something underneath it. It says the general, and then it's built by blah, blah, blah. And you fill in the blanks, I assume. So we got those. Then I assume this is the tender. All right, so we're working on the tender on this side, putting all these together, various parts to it. And then, yeah, so we've got the wood going on the top and all the bits and pieces, the I-beams underneath, usual thing, structural right the way through. We've got the springs being fitted, the axles, stuff like that. And then obviously it's supposed to be a sort of working part, I assume, because obviously it's saying about no glue for any of these axles. And it looks like as well, they're on a pivot. So they will slightly rotate as well. So if you did have curved track, you'd be all right. All right, so there we go. So we've got the various bits on there. And then obviously all the couplings and the various stuff going down here at the back. We've got that decal going around the outside, which is fair enough. More various bits and pieces. We've got the footsteps on the back and everything else. And it's showing about the decals being placed down wherever you need them. All right, exactly the same really on the other side. Then we're turning our attention onto the actual loco itself. So again, we've got all the main boiler housings, the bits and pieces. So we've got the funnel and obviously all the lumps and bumps you can imagine all over on your trains. All right, it's going right the way down. It's where I need my other half, and she'll tell you all what these bits are. Clearly, I have no idea. All right, so anyway, on the footplate, all the various areas with the firebox and everything else all being done as well. And then all the equipment down on the inside. So actually, it's got quite nice detail all the way through. Then it's talking about actually putting the housing around with all the glass work in and getting those all sorted. And then really just bringing it all together. So you've got the roof going on, and then the back and all the side handles and rails and everything else. Then you're working through on the front end as well. So you've got all the bogies and the bits and pieces for the wheels, and all of those being fitted down onto the base of the loco. And again, you've sort of got all the running gear underneath as well. So all of this being fitted down into there. So actually it's very nicely detailed all the way through this. And it's talking about non-gluing parts as well. So it is all moving parts, which is quite nice. And then same again with actually putting the lower chassis onto the boiler housing and all the rest of it. Then it's a case of putting all the guards on and things like that. And then over here we've actually got the sort of bull bar on the front here, as we would call it. I don't know what they call them, cow guard is it or something? Down on there as well, so that's all being fitted down onto there. And then all the various piping and bit lumps and bumps, as you might imagine, right the way over on the engine itself. So again, 1982, this is very good. All right, so same thing on the other side, both the way through, and you say lots of hoses and piping. We've even got the bell, so obviously you can fit the bell up as well. We're talking about a little bit of thread being used, so you can actually have it as a working bell as well. And then we've got the lamp on the front for the lights. All of those ones fitted down into there as well, and then obviously nameplates and things being fitted down onto this one, whistles, the usual things, and again the guards and the various parts and bits and pieces right the way over this. And again, because it is working, it's got all the pins and everything going down into the wheels, and none of them are glued, so it should actually all work. That's the theory. And then again, rear couplings being put in down into there as well, and then obviously coupling up as well and joining the hoses down between the actual main engine and the tender, and then the last few decals going in the outside. So again, can you imagine getting that as I would have been then? How old would I have been then? 10, 11, no, 9. I'd have been 9 then. So yeah. Very nice indeed. So, decal wise, to be honest, these aren't too bad. So I'm imagining they're not Airfixes, because again, it looks pretty good, solid colours all the way through. Of course, they've yellowed a little bit, but generally though, considering the age of the kit, I don't think that's too bad at all. All right, so again, very nice indeed. Okay, so starting off with the track areas, as you can see, they are quite nicely detailed. So you've got the sleepers and the bars and all the bits and pieces. Obviously you're going to take out the pins out down here, but you could put more scat over it or whatever you wanted to do. And again, it's going to be too big now for the camera to fit in, but I'll give you a rough guesstimate on the size. I don't even know how you get this together. Has it got pins? It has, it's got pins. I don't want to put it together because you've got the pins in here, and then on the underside you've got pins. So if I get it together, chances are I'll never get it apart. But from a size point of view, you are going to be approximately 65 centimetres, something like that. So in total length. So it's no slouch, this thing. It's going to be quite big. Alright, so that's nice. Pop it back in there. Right, so down into the good bits, if you like. So, lots of parts flying around everywhere. So, various items that I haven't got a clue what they are, but we start over on here. We've got the main boiler. It's got raised rivets, probably not as many as the real things has, but again, they all look quite nice, and it's actually got proper bolts and all the bits and pieces moulded into this one right the way through. And again, quite nice. It's all solid and it's all there. Again, it's one of those ones, I can't see any sort of sink marks or any problems with it at all. That actually all looks pretty nice. We move in, you can see it's a nice bolt detail, various things. Doesn't look too bad at all. What I quite fancy with this one is not doing it all shiny and nice, it's literally going for that sort of post-apocalyptic look and really weather the hell out of this, you know, and just do it in black and yeah, gnarly right the way through. On the inside, actually, you say, when you think about the age of the moulds and all the rest of it. But again, why I'm slightly sceptical this is actually Airfix's kit, again, you've got part numbers are inside some of the parts, so you can see which ones are what as well. So that's actually quite a nice touch with it. So yeah, very nice. So we've got one half an engine, and then I assume this is probably pretty much a mirror. Oh no, this one's got the funnel onto it, onto the other side. So again, we've got that, and then obviously it's come off with this one, but we've got both the funnels here. Probably would have been this way. Actually very reminiscent of an Apollo capsule. But yeah, so there we go, would be something like that. Generally, these are nice, got some ejector pins in there in the various bits, but yeah, nothing that the old sanding stick can't take care of. So very nice indeed. Then down on this one, we've actually got the rails. So the rails have got a little bit of warpage, but I should imagine by the time you get them into the actual onto the sleepers themselves, it should curve and sort of straighten themselves out. But at the moment there is a little bit of warpage down in there, but we have got the bolts and the various linkages going down in here as well, and I assume this section down the bottom here is obviously going to be running all the way through, is the main sort of, you know, chassis of the actual train itself on the underside. So again, very, very nice done on that. But again, by the time you come in, there's only a couple of ejector pins on these, and these would be really easy to take care of. You just literally get in there with a skiddy stick and take those off, and then you can do those in metals, and again you can rust the rails, you could actually then give them a nice shine on the top. Very nice indeed. Pretty similar to the other side. That's the top of the funnel, so obviously this is the one that goes onto the underside of it, and this is the top, so we don't have to worry about those ejector pins because they're all going to be hidden down in there. But again, all looks very nice indeed. The actual leaf springs, got some nice detail onto them as well, and everything. So again, it is of that age, you know, if you were looking at, you know, a 1980s kit, it's pretty much what you'd be thinking it's going to be like. You're on the right path to it all. Alright, so again, this is some of the tender bits. Again, this is nice and clean and crisp and sharp, all of these. But we see the shine on the plastic, very, very nicely done. All the parts for the tender, obviously these are all the axles running down on the underside. We've got the coupling down in here and the various bits, that's all nice. And again, we've got various bits down in here. So it's the back of the boiler, obviously I assume it would be that way. Alright, so it's the back of the boiler, obviously all the parts will be going onto here. That'll be your actual firebox. So yes, very nice indeed. And obviously over on this side we've got the front. So assuming that's right at the front of the train, well, obviously you have the number on the front and all the rest of it as well for coming into the boiler down that way. So again, really nice, but again, nice riveting detail right the way across. Not too bad at all. Very nice. Oh, this one's coming off the sprues a little bit. So again, bottom of the tender, we've got a nice wood grain pattern right the way through here. So that's quite nice, and I assume then everything builds up from underneath. So this is the underside of it. But again, a couple of ejector pins, but considering its age, they're very, very lightly done in there. You could probably get away with not even really worried about them at all. So that's very nice. And then again, down in here, we've got some coupling chain and stuff, but I think most of us will just replace that for real chain. And away you go. Got the brake line hoses, things like that as well. So that's pretty nice, all of that. All right. So again, on this one, got the top of the firebox here, top side bits, all right the way through, and obviously we've got the wheels, which actually, to be honest, the wheels aren't too bad at all. They're round, but you know what I mean? It's actually good, solid design on those ones with no problem at all. And again, got the wood box on the back here with it lit, so that's very nice as well. Obviously for carrying the water. Okay, grey screws. I've got all these parts being detached. If you can hear that noise, it's me adding bits that have become detached. So that's what that is. Okay, so there's your wood. If a wood could chop wood, how much wood would he chop? Okay. Again, it's very flashy, not nice. And again, on all these parts. So it's going to be, to be honest, one of your biggest things, as with all older classic kits, shall we say, will be that thing of cleaning them up, cleaning up all the parts, getting all nice and crisp and sharp, and things like that. But again, considering the age of this, not only is the plastic here done very well, but the mould at the time must have been literally cutting edge. Very nice. Then we've got some parts down in here. So again, we've got the leaf springs down in here, some more of the wood from the front end, all the various parts. And then I assume these areas down in here is the underside, which would be the beams and everything for the actual, for the wheels, for the bogies, front and rear, on the tender plate as well. It's got the old checkerboard pattern onto it. Catch it in the light on the camera. There we go. Quite nice. Very nice indeed. I think that's going to be okay. And again, we've got these side ones, which all in wood texture grain. Very nice. So we have got two of these. These have come detached from something. All right. And then again, down on here, we've got the, again, more springs, various parts. We've got the arches for the wheels. Obviously, this is the drivers, linking the wheels all together. Very nice indeed. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to do the shiny bits last. Oh, we've got this little guy as well, which I'm not sure what that is, but it looks very, very important. So we'll keep him in the important pile. Okay, so next up we've got what can only be described as very garish red wheels. Yeah, I don't think the plastic's very nice for the actual, with the colouring of it anyway. But yeah, so anyway, there's your drivers. Looking very nice. Again, we've moved a little bit closer. You can see some of the details on those. With the counterweights. Very nice. And then got the cow bar. And then obviously we've got the roof over here. Again, all with the wood grain in there. To be honest, the wood grain is really nice. That'll be quite nice to work with on that one. And obviously we've got the beams for the roof as well. That's all very nice indeed. And then we've got the parts around the cab. So all of the parts. There's all the windows, which will be looking forward. Looking pretty nice, very ornate. The various parts. We have 40-odd-year-old tape. And then last up, which is still sealed, well-ish. No, perhaps not. We have the gold and the clear parts. So again, there we go. So there's all the shiny bits for your housings and everything, which are really, really nice. Now I know everyone's terrified about this, but with the advent of Posca pens and things, it's actually, you don't even have to strip them back anymore. Just use it like it and then use them for the touch-ins, which works better. But you can see here the grab area where it was done. So this would have been dipped literally like this into the fluid and then pulled out. So it's still got the grab marks from where it had it. But there we go. This is the one that says built by on your plinth. And then you can just pop your own name down in there as well. Again, nice little touches really. Alright, so we got that one. Then we've got some more stuff over here. Again, it's all very ornate. And obviously we've got the name, the general. Right the way through, difficult to see because it's just so reflective. It's actually really nice stuff on this. So any angle you do, it's reflecting. It's almost impossible to show. Clear parts. So the clear parts probably need a bit of a clean, but actually the clear parts are clear. And because they're flat, we've got no distortions. They actually don't look too bad at all, which is a really, really nice touch with that one. There you have it. We've all gone back to our childhood in the 80s. So yes, that's definitely quite a kit and a half. I imagine if you were, say, a 10-year-old boy in 1982, you would have been absolutely over the moon with getting that kit, because that would have been huge. And I imagine at the time, really expensive as well. It's probably one of those kits as younger kids you just dream of that you're never going to get. You know, the ones we're talking about, the ones in those model shop where it's the top shelf. And your parent or guardian would be like, yeah, no, you're not having any of them, you're having these. And it's like the cheaper 72nd ones down at the bottom. But we used to look up to these kits and think, wow. And it's really nice now as an adult, you can go along and say, do you know what, I'm going to get it because I can. But yes. Anyway, if you do fancy getting one of these, they are around. If you have a look around like I did, you can pick them up at secondhand. They're not massively expensive, purely because of, I think it's its genre. It's something which is amazing when you think of Airfix as a group in 2023 as we are now. Obviously it is part of Hornby. And one of the things I've often asked is, well, two things. Why is we don't get any sort of, you know, diggers and road working machinery and JCBs and all things like that and case diggers? That's one question. Second question is, why don't Airfix bring out a line of maybe 00 scale model kits of trains? Because let's face it, they've got all the details for it. Not motorised, just the people who want to put trains together. You know, and again, they could do slightly bigger scales as well, which would be nice. I'm just putting that out there. So if they do come out with their next year's statement, they're going to be doing trains again, you know where they got the idea from. But I think for a company who's that involved with trains, it's a shame they don't do any from a modelling point of view, because lots of us like to model trains. Not, you know, as in the real ones going around your train set, but actually to build them and build them up and to paint and weather yourself. So yeah, something that I think that would probably go down quite well. Anyway, that is the classic from 1982, the General by Airfix in 1/25 scale.